How many games will the Miami Dolphins win in 2023? What's going on, Dolphins fans? It's Mitch here of The Bottom Line View, here to give you my record prediction for your Miami Dolphins in 2023. Going game by game, giving you my game by game picks and analysis on each of the Dolphins games in 2023, ultimately determining what I believe their record will be this season. If that sounds good, don't forget to spike the like button and let me know in the comment section below how well you believe the Dolphins will perform in 2023. What will their record be? Let me know in the comment section below, and let's go. The Miami Dolphins are looking to get back to the playoffs this season and looking to survive a very difficult schedule and AFC East. It all begins with the LA Chargers in LA in week number 1. Justin Herbert versus Tua, a great storyline for week 1. The Chargers are a good football team, a playoff team as well a year ago, a talented pass rush, a good secondary, should be able to handle the speed of the Miami offense, which makes it that much more intriguing. We saw this game last year, and the Chargers had a great game plan for Tua and company. I feel like there's some carryover from that. I also believe in Herbert, despite the Dolphins' defense looking better on paper entering this year. I think he should be able to move the ball with his full complement of weapons out there. So I think the Chargers will win this game at home. It's one that I think could go either way and could be a big determining factor on how Miami ends up this year. But I'm going to go with the Chargers based on the result from last year, where I felt the Chargers really outcoached Miami. Week number 2, the New England Patriots host the Miami Dolphins. Miami typically beats the Patriots at home, and when looking at both matchups this year, last year they lost to them without Tua. Hopefully Tua's healthy for week 2. But I think the Patriots are an improved team, improved coaching staff, improved roster overall, and they've got a really good defense with a strong pass rush and a really good complement of cornerbacks to handle Waddle, Tyreek Hill, the quick RPO concepts of the Dolphins offense. I do think the Patriots win the game at home. I'm going to say that Miami beats them in Miami, as they typically do, because it's the house of horrors for the Patriots. But I do think the Patriots will beat the Dolphins at home this season. I think New England's an improved football team. I think their defense will allow them to stay in the game long enough for them to pull it out in the end. Week number 3, the Denver Broncos. This is a game you should get back on track. You should pick up your first win of the season if you haven't already. Again, Patriots and Chargers are tough games. They could go either way. They're 50-50 games. They're both on the road, though. That's what's difficult. I think this game at home opener, good energy, hosting Russell Wilson, I think you should pick up this victory. Also a Vic Fangio revenge game, potentially. Then you have, in week number 4, a game against Buffalo in Buffalo. I think that you're probably going to split with the Bills, but I could also see you getting swept by the Bills. I think the Bills are a very good football team. Miami, it's going to be interesting to see what their defense brings this year. Obviously, the addition of Vic Fangio is promising. Jalen Ramsey, Long. They have some pieces there for sure. I don't know if all the pieces are going to accumulate in a phenomenal defense, and that's the biggest question I have. But they have the pieces to potentially go to Buffalo and slow down Josh Allen. I'm just not quite sure that's going to take place in the first month. I'm going to take the Bills. I think they've pretty well owned Miami over the last few years. Even the game that the Dolphins won, they kind of got dominated. So I'm going to take the Bills in Buffalo. Then week 5, I think you beat the Giants at home. Good offense, Saquon Barkley. I think Daniel Jones did some great things last year, got the contract for it. Their offensive line is a little iffy. I think you can take advantage of that. I also feel like your corner should be able to have a good handle on these receivers. Then on the flip side, yeah, they improved their defense, definitely the speed of their defense at middle linebacker and at cornerback. But I just think you've got too many weapons to offer against a defense that I think is a little bit up and down with Wink Martindale. Loves to blitz a lot. I think you could take advantage of that with Tyreek Hill's speed, Jalen Waddle's speed. So I'm going to take Miami. Then in week 6, Carolina Panthers, Miami Dolphins. This one could be tricky, but you're at home. I'll take you. I think you're the definitively better team. We don't know how good Bryce Young's going to be, so that's a huge question. They don't have a lot that scares you offensively. I think that's the biggest factor for me, where I think Miami, as good as the Panthers defense has a chance to be, I think you're going to score points regardless, especially at home. And then defensively, I just don't think the Panthers have the weaponry to keep up. Week 7, I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Eagles are the better team. I think they're better on the line of scrimmage. And I think their offense is just a handful. You know, if you try to stop the pass, they're going to run it on you. If you try to stop the run, they're going to pass it on you. Their defense has a great pass rush, which could be concerning for Tua, especially on the road. This is a game that I would watch out. If I'm concerned for Tua's health moving forward, this is a game where you got to protect him. I will say that. We saw them knock out like 3 49er quarterbacks last year. Week number 9, you play the Kansas City Chiefs. This may be a game that a lot of Dolphins fans think you're going to lose. I actually think you are going to win. This is one of those games where, yeah, the Chiefs are the Super Bowl champs, but it's in London. And, all right, London or Germany. Can't remember. I think it might be in Germany. So it's a tricky environment. It's a tricky game. The Chiefs are going to get a lot of attention. And I feel like this is a huge motivational game for Miami. This is Tyreek Hill. And I think Tyreek Hill is going to be all in on this game. I think he's going to get the rest of his teammates in on this game. I think this is going to be a big game for the Dolphins in a way that it's not so much for the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs will be enjoying the moment of being there. I think Miami is going to have an edge. I think Miami also matches up fairly well with the Chiefs. Vic Fangio matches up fairly well with Andy Reid. I think that Mike McDaniel can take advantage of Steve Spagnuolo's aggression. I think Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle will be a problem for the Chiefs secondary. And I could see the Dolphins winning this game. Then they go into the bye week looking pretty good at 5-4. You know, a pretty difficult start, but overall not too bad. Then they play the Raiders at home, a Vegas team traveling to Miami. I got the Dolphins. They should be rested. They should be ready to go with another week to prepare. The Raiders defense just has too many issues for me to say they're going to slow down Miami's attack. So I'll take the Dolphins. Pretty simple there. Then in week 12, you play the Jets on Black Friday. Very tough game, tough environment, primetime setting. It's the solo game on that day. And I think the Jets win with Aaron Rodgers. The Jets have a very good defense. I think they've got the answers for your offense. They've got a pretty good pass rush. And then on the other side, they can run the ball. They can throw the ball now with Aaron Rodgers. I have my questions about their coaching staff, but I think that Saleh's familiarity with McDaniel does help. So I'll take the Jets. Then week 13, the Washington Commanders. This is a tricky game. I would not rule this out as a sleeper game to trip up the Dolphins because Washington has a really good pass rush. They got some sneaky good weapons. If they can get some quarterback play, I think Washington is kind of one of those slip up, especially on the road. They can lure you into sleeping in that environment. But I'll take Miami. I just think they're the better, more talented team. And I trust the quarterback more as long as he's still playing at this point. And when looking at both teams healthy, I think the coaching definitively is better in Miami. So I'm going to take the Dolphins. Week 14, this is another game that I think you could lose. Like, the Titans have kind of dominated you, I think, in recent history. I do recall a game where you got absolutely annihilated a couple of years ago by the Tennessee Titans. This isn't the same Titans team. I will say they have a very good defense. I think it's probably the most slept-on unit in the NFL. They've got good corners, good pass rushers, very, very well-schooled team, and they will run the ball. But at home on Monday night, it's just hard for me to imagine that the Dolphins don't get up for this game in front of their home crowd in a primetime setting. I'm going to go with the Dolphins. Then in week 15, I think you do split with the Jets. I think the AFC East is really difficult. I think ultimately you split with most of these teams. And the Jets, I think you should be able to beat them once. I think one game their defense maybe gets you with a couple turnovers, some big plays. But the other game, I think as long as you can handle Garrett Wilson in that matchup, I don't think their offense is as elaborate or as explosive as a lot of people seem to think it will be with Aaron Rodgers. So I think you can win that game. Then the Dallas Cowboys is tricky. This is one I've been back and forth on. So right now you're 9-5. I kind of feel like you could lose these last 3 games. I kind of want to say you're going to win one of them. I think the Dallas game is a huge game. So when I think about it, Dallas, their defense is very fast. I think they've got a great pass rush. I think they're the best defense in the league, in my opinion. Like, I don't think that's a crazy statement, especially against the pass. They've got no real flaws. They added Stephon Gilmore, Trayvon Diggs, 3 great safeties, great pass rushers. Their offense is balanced. They can attack you in a variety of ways. The game is at home, which helps, okay? So that is a swing deal. I could see that being a win, but I think Dallas is the more well-rounded team. Then you play the Ravens. The Ravens are tough. Last year, we saw you beat the Ravens in a miracle comeback fashion. The Ravens were dominating, and then they came back. Miami did. I don't think the Ravens will have the flaws defensively they had last year early in the year, where Miami was able to take advantage of some real like coverage busts and things of that nature. I think the Ravens are a really good team with better weapons this year, good on the line of scrimmage. I think the Ravens at home will win. And then in the final week of the season, I think the Bills beat you. So, I mean, maybe you could split with the Bills. Maybe you could beat the Cowboys. There's a chance that you could beat, the Patriots or the Chargers, and you can end up 11-6 or 10-7 or even 8-9. But when you look at this schedule, man, it is ludicrously difficult. I mean, there's games I even have you winning, like games against the Giants, games against the Patriots, games against the Chiefs, games against the Titans. I think there's certainly games here where I have you winning where you could lose. I have you losing where you could win. So this is real tough, but I have Miami at 9-8. I just think the schedule, the division, the chance that Tua does not play all 16, 17 games is a challenge to talk about. And that end of the schedule, the end and the beginning are really tough. So overall, I have Miami at 9-8 this season. Let me know if you think I'm right, if you think I'm wrong. No problem if you disagree. Gronk spike the like button. Check out the rest of my videos on the channel for the rest of my record predictions. Thanks for watching. Peace.